This one has an interesting problem. It doesn't need to show, of course. Once the fun begins. You'll quite soon notice things are getting interesting down here. It's burning okay, but as you can see, the leaking is still increasing and not stopping. And here you can see some of the burn. Let's turn it down, and interestingly, the flames are still going. So let's turn it off the hard way. So much leaking. So let's try one of the easier ways. Thank God Coleman is one for the simpler things in life. This is just your regular old size 13. Because the graphite backing doesn't need a lot of force, I'm just using the tip of my finger until I meet this point of a nice average resistance. So let's see if this worked. Stupid me forgot to close the tank cap. So, when we're that one out of the way, we'll just continue. That sounds a bit better. Sounds like some fuel was stuck in there. I really love the Coleman stove. When cooking, I do like that searing heat. And nothing like the Coleman ever produces that kind of heat. No butane, not isopropane. No, just give me my trusty old petrol stove. Look at that. No more leaking. Just to be sure, I think I should give it a few stress tests. I'm not completely satisfied. And as you still see, this cap needs replacement, and so does the pump valve. Wouldn't you know it, the first problems are already showing. It's close, but it's still burning. There's an important malfunction going on here, and it's not the leak. Safety is always a priority. So let's drain the tank. At least for as much as possible, because this is always the hard part. This is why I love to keep antiques around. This laboratory glass is proving an excellent value in this case. Well, that's good enough for now, so let's put the tank cap back on and proceed inside. And here we are at my repair desk. I always like to wear some gloves to protect my hands, especially now I'm working with some petrol installation over here. There's a few issues, mostly surrounding this this fuel assembly over here. So whatever the hell is happening here, I'm currently completely unaware. But first let's try the basic, perhaps the simplest one. Let's check on the gasket. And since we need to replace this this component already. No? Overcomplicated tools, who doesn't love them? I'm personally a giant fan of wear tools. I mean, just look at the system. This is so universal. This can do about 90% of all the tasks I need of it. It's got everything. Torx, imbus, various Phillips screw head drivers. But already at this point currently. Let's find our trusty number 12 again. Oh, I forgot. Sorry people, it was number 13. So happy I'm not doing this on a Friday but on a Thursday. So far so good. Actually the gasket doesn't even look that bad. It's not broken, it's still smooth. It doesn't look too bad. Still happy I'm keeping spares of this part. No, it actually seems to be in quite a decent shape. So let's put this aside for now and see whatever else might be happening over here. I already removed pressure. I am keeping the cap on because there's still a bit of fuel in here. You can never fully drain them. And I gotta say, I'm just doing this as a hobby. I am completely inexperienced with these things. So I'm just as curious as everybody else what the hell is inside of this. Currently I'm taking apart a part that's known as the generator. Just to see how things are inside. And actually there's a bit of dirt in here. It doesn't seem to be all that bad, and looking at it, it actually seems to match the bad flame I had earlier. Like I had an orange flame, and over the part where it hits the fuel, it's just completely burnt. And this might not be as visible to you guys, but let's see. Same position. So whatever the hell is happening, I'm not so sure. Might be one of the O-rings. But yeah, can't never be too sure at this point. I'd rather not take this part off because yeah, it's so nicely stuck. I just don't want to mess with anything good. I'm talking about the fuel assembly itself, of course. Oh, there's actually something inside still. What could it be? Let's see. This might be a number 10 since it's nice and small. And it is. And since it seems to be screwed into here, let's try to take this a bit more further apart. Besides not budging at all, it's actually... no, it doesn't seem to be a way to do this the nice way. Which is kind of surprising. It might actually be because of all the rust inside there. There's no real way to look inside for what's happening. But I gotta remember this is all still part of the same fuel assembly. So let's try to get a bit deeper inside. This is actually kind of ruining it. I can actually recommend the current tool that I'm using. It's an oldie, so look at your thrift stores, but the nice thing about this is how it interlocks. Because as you can see, usually it's a bit of more of a ball assembly. This is actually sliding in, which means it's a lot easier to keep force on a tool like this. I really like it. Learned it from my dad, of course, so thank you, Dad, for all the neat lessons you've learned me throughout my life. Really, it saved me so much money just to be so self-sufficient. Who wouldn't want to be? Let's see. Now it gets a bit interesting because it seems to be under an angle. And I can't find much of a mistake in here. And since it's basically all part of the same assembly, let me just put it all together again. Then again, a leak shouldn't come from an uninteresting part like this now, shouldn't it? This might be problematic, but the shut-off should all be inside of here. So it might just be this part itself is completely failing. If so, it's probably an easier or more complicated repair, depending on how you look at things. Let's see, this seems to be... Let's keep the tools all inside. So, we're using the size 13, the size 10, and let's try number 8. And it's a match. Thank you, Coleman, for making things easy on us. What I like about jobs like this is that it's soothing. It's like puzzling to me. It's actually puzzling to me that not more people are just out there repairing their shit. I like it. Buying things on the cheap. Don't know what's going on with this part, but it's giving me a little bit of a struggle. Which is interesting already, because at an earlier point, before this started leaking, it would twist around, but have issues reaching the top. Something was blocking it, and I'm not sure what it was. So I hope I can find it. Perhaps there's some kind of dirt here in the fuel assembly. Well, it doesn't seem to be the... how do you call it again? The choke. It doesn't seem to be the choke right now. It actually doesn't seem to be all that removable. So instead I just tighten it back up again. And let's try to just retighten everything again and see whatever happens right now. I've always been curious what this part was actually doing. Well, what's sparking my curiosity even more is that it's bent. You see? Why is it bent? It seems that the generator itself is perfectly okay from the inside. Might have been a bit of a problem. But then again, let's just dig on and see whatever is happening right now. There's nothing more I really can do at this point. So I guess I'll just better go ahead. Let's see, the needle of this assembly is working properly. There's nothing blocking it. So that's good. And this is coming back on without a hitch. It's still clean. I think it's clean. Well, taking care of machines are always happy machines. So what did I do? Really not that much. I tightened this thing together again. Using the number 8. I'm going for a nice resistance. I don't want too much, but definitely not too little. It's actually a bit tighter right now, this choke. So I hope that might be part of the solution actually currently. I need to attach this part again. It doesn't seem to be all that bad, so let's just try and reinsert that thing and go for the best. And I love a good stove. It's actually currently so tight that it's making twisting this faucet a lot more difficult. Actually, a bit of the packing is coming out through the sides, but better just to overdo it than to underdo it right now. Well, this one I can always keep as a spare, which of course goes for whatever I'm using right now. If need be and I can't fix it, the entire fuel assembly itself, the hose and everything, is just completely replaceable. The tank itself is perfectly okay, so whatever happens I can always keep everything I'm using right now for parts. That was a bit of a bummer. I wasn't able to buy this as a separate part. Instead, I had to just order an entire new assembly. But that's okay, because these things wear and tear anyway. Gotta remember to put in a little bit of oil. I haven't done that in a while. So, that's a lot prettier. I love it when things get simple. And there we have a nice original Coleman piece. Yeah, I know, you should get scissors. But who likes to dig around with the proper tools all the time anyway? Always nice to use new parts, right? So, all done. It's currently in the closed position. Let's try to match that. I'm never quite too sure where I should actually put it. I just generally like it in this position. It doesn't always have to make sense now, does it? Let's see. Well, I just finished final assembly. Let's try some cooking. Let's test it again, see if it actually closes. No, still doesn't actually close fully. Well, it turns out that my experiment was actually a failure right now. It still has an interesting leak going on, which makes the combustion quite unreliable and actually black burning. So I need to investigate whatever the hell is going on, and hopefully next time I have a fix.